AB de Villiers. We're sitting here in beautiful Pretoria, your home city, and it's very exciting to say that you're a member of the Brisbane Heat now. How does that feel?
It is. It's very enjoyable. It is my home city, and I love being in Pretoria. And it actually reminds me of Brisbane in a way. It's very similar weather-wise. I've spent a bit of time in Brisbane before, and it's a fantastic spot. Great weather, some beaches, awesome city, plenty to do, and it's a great spot for me to take the family over when I do come over in Jan. I really can't wait to join up with the guys. I've followed the Heat for a while now, and the BBL as well, so it's going to be good fun.
How did it all come about? Because a couple of months ago there was word out that you'd put a line through the BBL for this summer, but here we are, obviously, very exciting news. So how did the signing come about?
Yeah, I've retired from international cricket not too long ago, purely for the reason to be more at home and not to miss special occasions like Christmas and New Year's, and I just wanted to have like a normal life in a way. Our cricket careers, the schedule of the ICC these days is really hectic, and you don't get to spend a lot of time at home. So I was really just looking for a bit of consistency in my schedule the minute I retired, and that's why when the BBL came up, I was like, it's December, January, it's my time at home. But we've managed to find a way. I got an email from Darren Lehman. And also saw Chris Lynn at the IPL, which sort of really got me excited about joining up, especially with the Heat. And it's going to be good fun. I'm really looking forward to the opportunity.
What about Lenny? You mentioned him. You must be excited to play with him.
Yeah, he's one hell of a player. It's always a bit of you have a sleepless night or two before you play against him when he's in the lineup. It's obviously a destructive batter who can take the game away in a matter of a couple of overs. So it's great to have him in our team. Looking forward to spend a bit of time out in the middle with him. It could be a lot of fun. I think we've got the ability to win some games for the team, and hopefully it pays off this season.
And has the BBL always been a comp you wanted to play in? Obviously, international cricket has meant it's pretty difficult to commit, but has it always been something you've looked at?
It certainly has. It looks from the side like a really well-organised tournament with a great atmosphere. I think the standard of cricket will be right up there. When you compare it to some of the other leagues around the world, I think it will be some of the best cricket that you can find. So in that perspective, it's good entertainment, which means more crowds. And yeah, if you get that combo going, it's a lot of fun for everyone. So hopefully we'll get it right and play some good cricket and get the Heat fans behind us and hopefully win the trophy.
So you're obviously a man in demand. When you decide on going to a new franchise or a new club, what are you actually looking for? Is it things like lifestyle, or is it coaching? Is it grounds? Is it teammates? What are you looking at?
I've never really looked at it like that. It's something that just happens. But I've always been the kind of guy that once I commit to a team, you're not going to get me to move. I like to be loyal and to sort of build a relationship with the team, get to know the guys, and really feel like at the end of my career that I've had an impact on some players, and players have had an impact on me. I think if you jump around, you sort of miss that special quality of special opportunity of really connecting with the franchise and with the people who work for the franchise. So that's the idea. And then obviously adding to that, when the Heat came up, I obviously met up with Lenny, the mail that Darren Lehman sent me, and having watched them over the years, I think it's a similar kind of brand that I would like to be associated with. The way they play the game, the kit, everything that goes with it, the Gabba, it's an awesome cricket field. So it all goes with it, and me being really excited to go and play there.
What about Brendon Mccullum? You know Baz very well. Did you chat to him before you made the call?
Yes, I've spoken to Baz. He's a fantastic guy. Obviously, I got to know him quite a while when we played together for Royal Challengers Bangalore in the IPL. He's an awesome guy. I've got a lot of respect for him and the things he's achieved throughout his career. He's just really a nice guy, and he also mentioned to me that the Heat's one of the BBL's one of the best tournaments to be a part of, and the Heat as a team, he really enjoyed his time there.
Look, I love being a part of the Heat. I think Brisbane itself is a great place to be. Obviously, you get the opportunity to play in front of full house at the Gabba, bat on what I think is the best cricket wicket for T20 in the world. But also, like the Heat for me, just everything how I like to play the game of cricket marries up with the same values that the Heat have, and what we're trying to achieve is aggressive cricket, trying to hit sixes with the bat, trying to take wickets with the ball and be as dynamic as you can in the field, and do it with a smile on your face. And also for me, a bit of family as well. Like my wife's from Lismore, so she's not too far from here, and it's a great opportunity for us to spend 6-7 weeks a year over here and just invest some time in the other side of the family and just really sink our teeth into, I guess, Australian or Brisbane lifestyle.
When you're going to a new league like the BBL, obviously Pakistan, IPL, and it's a team that you haven't actually played for, what's the motivation to go well? Because it's not a club with a lot of tradition, but is kind of brand new franchises, brand new teammates. What's your motivation?
That's the players you play with. You want to, and that's always been my motivation. The players you play with, and to see their faces after you've done something special in the field or with a bat in hand, and also with the person that you are. I always enjoy walking away from a season feeling that I've had a good impact on other people's lives, and that's ultimately what it comes down to. So yeah, it's not so much whether the team's got a lot of culture and tradition and history and all of that. That's also nice. I'm not talking it down. It's just there's more to it than just that.
And mixing with new international players, is that a highlight? Because when you started playing international cricket, T20 probably wasn't really a thing, and now that you're playing in all these international tournaments, your teammates are guys that you played against a lot. Is that kind of a big highlight of playing on the T20 circuit?
It's definitely a huge highlight of my career and my life, actually, getting to know some people that I was never going to really meet, and it's always just going to be opposition. Guys like Len McGrath played with me for Delhi Daredevils in the start of the IPL. I'll never forget that. And there are many other relationships that developed from just playing some tournaments around the world, and I'm pretty sure more of that will come now. I must add that you touched on T20s only started halfway throughout my career. It was very, very uncomfortable for me to adapt to the format, and it took me quite a while. Just the game itself, it was really difficult, very uncomfortable for a batter to feel that urge of, or that need to having to go the whole time, and what are the boys in the balcony thinking, are we getting behind, and all of that. So it took me a while to figure out my game, and I learned from a lot of other players. I was like I said, in the middle of my career when T20s was introduced, and I had no idea of how to actually form an innings, and you sort of you share ideas and all those kind of things when you get to meet guys. Learned a lot from Virat and many other players around the world.
So you would have had no idea back then that T20 would become what it has today, and that would be how you would finish your career, essentially, playing T20 cricket predominantly.
No, not at all. I enjoyed the idea of it, but as I said, I didn't really enjoy the format as much. It was too much of a rush. I thought it was very exciting. Wow, I have a license to go every ball, but I completely misunderstood that you could what it was all about, and they actually still got to have an idea of how to form your innings, how to build an innings. So it took me a while, but I definitely didn't think that it was going to last and last as long and get as big as it is now.
Do you remember when that clicked and swung and you kind of learned to play T20 for the format that it is?
Yeah, the thing that was really difficult for me to adapt to was my T20 career started internationally. We played, I think, between 3 and 6 T20s a year. So it was really difficult to find your feet and to understand what T20 cricket is all about. Only when the IPL started, that's where you got more game time. I mean, we played 14 games a season there at Delhi. Those first 3 years meant a lot to me, watching some of the players and learning from them. And then also playing 14 games in the whole season, you sort of naturally start understanding, okay, this is what's required. You don't have to get 380 in 20 overs. 160 is also enough sometimes. I was definitely trying to get to 10th gear instead of just still playing the game of cricket and respecting good deliveries.
Well, let's jump around a little bit. We mentioned that we're here in beautiful Pretoria, your home city. What was it like growing up in this part of the world?
I grew up in a town, an hour's drive north of here. It's called Bella Bella, or Wombas back in the day. It had a name change. I moved here when I was 14. I was a boarder at Affis high school just around the corner here from where we're now. And yeah, I mean, I've lived in Pretoria ever since. It's a fantastic city. I really love staying here. It's very calm atmosphere. There's plenty to do. All my mates are here, my family are here, so it's just nice to live here, and I think it's the best weather in the world. If I have to, maybe Brizzy's a close second. I don't know.
Very similar climate, because back home it's kind of mid-September now as we speak. Pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Mid to high 20s during springtime. It's quite beautiful.
Do you get afternoon thunder showers as well?
In summertime we do, yes.
Yeah, that's special, yeah.
Okay,
so it's very similar weather then.
Yeah, very subtropical in Brisbane.
Okay.
Well, you mentioned your high school just then, AFIS. I read your book recently, and you talk, I think the whole chapter dedicated to high school, and played rugby for the first 15, and yourself and Faf played cricket together for a couple of years, and you mentioned Faf was just, he dominated. What are your memories of high school?
Yeah, I'd say that the 5 years there at AFIS was probably the most important when it comes to development, laying a foundation, understanding discipline, taking responsibility for your own actions. It's the most important and best 5 years of my life. I was a boarder there. Mom wasn't there anymore to pack my school bag for me and do all the laundry and get the food on the table. I was on my own all of a sudden. A boarder, so I mean, you still looked after, but you got to take ownership of what you do and where you go and how you do it. It was an amazing 5 years. I made some great friends along the way. Got to meet Faf, or got to know him better. I've known him when we arrived there, but got to know him better, and finally found each other next to each other as teammates. I always played against him growing up, and all of a sudden we were like, okay, now we're going to do this together, which was quite nice because we're very competitive, both of us. He was a great player at school. He was always right up there on the run scoring list. We did everything together, and I mean, it's quite a dream come true that we both ended up playing for the Proteas and both captaining the team as well. It's a huge honour for both of us.
A big part of there's a lot of rumours going around that you were a childhood prodigy in about 7 different sports. Could have been an Olympic hockey player, Springbok fly half, Olympic sprinter. You vehemently deny all this stuff in the book.
Keep going.
Is it? Yeah. Well, like, what's the truth behind all that?
There's a lot of truth in it. I've never sort of faded away from the whole sport thing. I love playing sports, and I always have, and I've pretty good at most of them. The thing is, you'll never know. I mean, I can sit here and say yes, I would have played for the Springboks, but you never know. I was handy at rugby, tennis especially, golf, cricket, rugby. I've mentioned rugby already. Hockey. I played hockey for 1 year, so I mean, to say that I was going to be in the men's national team is quite a big call. I loved playing sports. Rugby I really loved. It's probably my favourite sport at school, and AFIS was mainly a rugby school then. I think things changed over time. I didn't spend a hell of a lot of time on my cricket. I enjoyed the season when we played cricket, and then I was sort of just, okay, I'm going to go play rugby now. And tennis was probably my strongest game of the lot. And I stopped when I was 14, so I don't know what would have happened. I probably should have gone to... I would have had to go to America if I really wanted to give it a good go and study there in a university, but you'll never know.
Yeah.
But I was pretty handy in tennis.
Just on your book, there's a couple of quotes on the front and back cover. First one is from Adam Gilchrist, and he says, AB, probably the most valuable cricketer in the world. Michael Atherton on the back cover says, just about the best cricketer in the world. Obviously pretty high plaudits. How do you go? You seem like a humble guy, so how do you kind of go with reading that kind of stuff?
I don't like the words just about, but anyway. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's a huge honour, obviously, when people say good things about you. That's not why I play the game. It's just, I mean, it is obviously nice to understand that you have respect from players around the world, and I think that's maybe part of the reason why a lot of us play the game, is to go and show off your talents and to make connections and network, and to hear other people say, listen, you've actually done well for your team there, well done. That's definitely a big part of why I play the game. Gilly has always been a big role model for me, also a batsman, wicketkeeper. Always enjoyed his humility, the way he handled interviews, victories. He's never been over the top. He's just a solid guy that I feel, and it's one of the best players I've seen play the game. I was lucky enough to have met him at the IPL. We became friends and still in touch to this day. So he's definitely a huge hero of mine. I'll never forget that. Firstly, I met him at the University of Pretoria at a camp when they were here for the 2003 World Cup. I was 19 then, I think, and he was giving wicket-keeping lessons, and we were about 5 wicket-keepers. And he came to me after the session. He threw balls to our right hand, left hand, and he said, listen, we got to work on that left hand a bit. And that was all he said. So I'll never forget that. And then I played the 4-3-8 game against him at the Wanderers. What is it? Probably 5 years later. and I reminded him of that. And then he gave me his shirt, and he wrote up there, "Keep working on that left hand." It's quite nice.
Gilly would have been part of the kind of great era of Australian cricket, and you've had some pretty good rivalries with Australia. I want to ask a few things about Australia before we get into the cricket side. What do you think of Australia as just a place to visit?
I think it's a great spot, I really do. The time zones is quite a challenge for us. Coming from here, I always remember the jet lag, really struggling, late nights, not being able to sleep. But once you settle in there, it's a fantastic country, it really is. The people are actually friendlier than you think they are. I always had this idea of Aussies being quite tough to deal with. But yeah, it's a great country. I love all the cities: Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Perth. They're all really enjoyable spots to go to. And I don't think I've seen 100th of the place. There's so many different places to see. Similar to South Africa, it's a very big country, plenty to see, different climates all over wherever you go. It's just I think Aussie is also a great spot just to go and spend a bit of time with the family, a holiday, and obviously a great spot to live in.
Yeah. Well, my second question was going to be about Australian people. You kind of answered that, and it would have been awkward if you said you didn't like us, so I'm happy with that. What about a country to play against? I mean, some serious rivalries between South Africa and Australia over many years, and you would have been a big part of that rivalry for some time.
Yeah, I grew up really hating Australia in a way. I mean, we always just wanted to beat the Aussies, and it was really difficult to do that. Very competitive nation, and everything they do it as hard as they can, and they go for it, you know. And once they get on top of you, they don't let go. That's the kind of things that I saw on TV growing up, and so I was quite scared when I made my debut playing against Oz for the first time. And but it was certainly everything I've dreamt of my whole life. It's a big moment, and the Aussies made me know that this is a big moment. You got to step up. Yeah, it took me a while, but here and there performed against them, and I mean it's always been very special, and the rivalry between us it's been great for many years now, and it's not going to change very soon.
What about those series wins in Australia? Do you have a favourite memory, a favourite test, a favourite innings that stands out?
Quite a few. We've had some good memories going to Oz. My first one wasn't so good in 2006. It was a really tough team to play against. We had a draw in Perth in my first test match. I scored a couple of 50s, sort of got myself out, which was the story for me between 20 and 25. It was tough to do my learning at that age. I mean, I did my learning at international level. I never really had an opportunity at domestic level to sort of understand my own game, my strengths and my weaknesses. So I did all of that while playing big matches for my country against teams like Oz. So 2006, I clearly remember Gilly behind the stumps, Warney bowling, McGrath. I hit McGrath for 4 first ball he bowled to me. I'll never forget that. He tried to bounce me, and I remember that's the one thing my brothers also remember. They sent me text messages that night. It was a short ball. He tried to hit me on the head, and I put him away through mid-wicket. He wasn't too happy about that. He gave me he had a fringe, that long fringe that time. He just gave it a wick, and he was like, very bad stare, and then he walked back, and I knew, okay, this is gonna be a long tour. He luckily didn't get me out a lot, but Warney did have my number. But just the intimidation factor, you know, and Gilly talking behind the stumps about my technique, and Warney in your face the whole time. Was really tough for a 22-year-old to go out and perform, but it was incredible learning. I mean, I learned so much through those kind of tours. But there's definitely memories that stands out. My first test match in Perth, getting a 50, but then getting out to Warney. And then some good memories, 2008 and 12. We had a couple of test series wins. Played some really good cricket. 2008 memory that stands out is Perth once again. I scored 100 there in the final innings of the test match. To be there, not out at the end of the innings, and to win that first test was quite special.
Is that the one chasing 440?
414, yeah.
Yeah, Hashim might have scored some big runs there.
I think Graham scored 100 opening the batting. I can't remember Hash. I think there's the next series that Hash scored.
Yeah, he did. Yes,
he almost scored a double 100. I scored 100 with him there, but yeah, he set it up for us. No, the first one was Graham. In that final innings, he got 100. We didn't bat together. He got out and I went in.
And he only lost 4 wickets or something.
Yeah,
like
I knew we needed another big one to get through. Once I get us to 5-6 down, it's night time. So, yeah, It was good memories.
Unbelievable, that game. Well, your last test match was against Australia in Johannesburg, and in Australia that series has become quite infamous, but for you guys, you could just see the jubilation in getting that series win for the first time against Australia at home. What was that like?
Yeah, forgetting about all the things that went down in that series, it was really an incredibly hard-fought test series. As you know, as I said before, the Aussies don't come here and they're not here to be friends with you. And to come back from 1-0 down, and the kind of cricket we played to actually achieve that's the thing that I'll always be proud of. I knew I was close to the end of my career, so there was an extra special motivation for me to go out and do as well as I could. I wasn't 100% sure about my decision at that time, but I knew I was pretty close. So, as they say, you got to enjoy every moment as it's your last, and I certainly did it in that series. Just fantastic memories, going down 1-0 and then coming back in PE. I scored 100 there, probably the best knock of my life. The situation we were in, we were collapsing and sort of giving our lead away. And then to stick around there with the tail enders and get 100 was really special. And then, I mean, a lot of things happened in that first 2 test matches. So our bowlers were pretty fired up, and it was sort of the bowlers' show in the next 2 test matches.
Did you guys discuss the controversy engulfing the Australian team, or were you just fully focused on what you were doing, which was going to win the series?
Yeah, we didn't really talk too much about the ball stuff. It was more about the rivalries that developed in those first 2 test matches. So the guys were really hungry. Guys like Rabada would say, I want to bowl to that Warner, whatever happens. If he comes to the wicket, give me the ball. Stuff like that was said in the change room. It really fired everyone up, and everyone was constantly talking about this amazing bowling attack of the Aussies, and I would say, but let's take them on. I want to be out there when Cummins is bowling 150 and Hazelwood's at his best. And so we were just really fired up to take it on. Everyone playing for each other, and that's the kind of cricket you want to play when you really feel as a unit out there with the team.
Is that the kind of player that you are? You mentioned taking the game on, setting the example for your teammates. Is that how you play the game? You want to be the one taking on and setting the example?
Yeah, it's not so much taking it on with the bat. It's more your body language and what you say, and staying positive even though you're doubting yourself a bit, and portraying a positive body language so that the youngsters get confidence from that. So that to me is what it's about. And when it's really tough out there, to be prepared to fight it out and not take the soft option, because we all have the soft option when you walk out after getting out and saying, coach, but I was trying to be attacking for the team. Sometimes that's nonsense and you're not being genuine to yourself. So you see that in Steve Smith. It's not always pretty, and sometimes it is as well, but he wants to be the guy to make the difference, and that's what it's. Those are the kind of guys you really want in your team, and that's the kind of player I've always wanted to be.
Just on Steve Smith, so you've been in England playing for Middlesex over the last couple of weeks. You must have seen a little bit of the Ashes, and what do you make of his form? It's pretty unbelievable at the moment.
Yeah, funny enough, I had an interview just before the start of the Ashes, and they asked me who do I think is going to win. Now, I actually said England, but they asked me about the batters, and this is where I knew while I said England I had to, in a way, because I was playing for Middlesex. But when I looked at the 2 batting lineups, I felt there was more fight with the Aussie batters, where they had guys like Steve and a couple of others who are prepared to not to look pretty, but to play Test cricket, you know. Where England's approach the last while has been positive attacking no matter what, which has won the World Cup, but Test cricket is different. There are patches of an hour, sometimes 2, where it's not about that. It's literally about just taking the heat for the team, not looking pretty, but just being out there for the boys. So I felt the Aussies were more equipped in doing that, and that's why I felt when I said England, I felt, okay, I'll just go with the guys because I'm going to be here for a while. But I felt Aussies are going to come out on top. They've got more nit and grit. And then the bowling attacks, I mean, more depth in the Aussie bowling attack as well, where England, great bowlers, but I didn't feel like they had that kind of depth that the Aussies had.
We'll switch gears just a little bit now. Talk about life outside of cricket. Looking through your Instagram profile, there's a couple of themes that stick out, 2 of them being golf and family. We'll start with golf first. Tell us about your golf game, and you bringing your clubs out to Brisbane?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to play at some stage. I don't know if I'll take my clubs. When you travel with 2 boys and a wife, there's quite a lot of luggage for the husband to carry, so the golf clubs might have to stay behind. No, I'll play around or two, definitely. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, the Instagram account it's always been quite genuine. Obviously, there's some marketing material in between, but I always fight with those companies to keep it as genuine and real as possible, because that's what I feel that the personal account should be like. I love my golf. I love going to the movies. Love spending time with the family, and hopefully I'll do a lot of that with the Heat and win some games as well.
Family's obviously very important to you. You're bringing your 2 boys out and your wife, and your family's still based in Pretoria. So, I mean, family's everything to you?
Definitely, yeah. My parents are also yeah, my brothers, my in-laws, everyone's around in this area. My best friends all live here. So it's great to be here, and well, to be able to be in a fortunate position to take my family with when I tour. It helps a lot.
And life after cricket, you've got those interests in kind of business and hospitality, and you've got an app and you're involved with music. What do you see for life when the T20 circuit finishes up?
I don't know. It's a really difficult question. I might be quite busy with a lot of other stuff, but I don't really feel that I've found a passion away from cricket yet. Hopefully it'll come soon. I don't think I have a hell of a lot of time left, but something will pop up. I think if I keep my eyes and my ears open, we'll see what happens. But business-wise, I'm involved with quite a few things, but certainly not something that's going to get me up in the morning feeling like, you know what, let's go change the world here. Hopefully that'll come.
Just to kind of finish off, I want to talk a little bit about Brisbane, which will be your home for a couple of weeks over summer. And I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and just to test your knowledge, and hopefully you learn a bit about Brisbane as well. So what state is Brisbane in?
Oh my goodness, you're gonna take me down there. I actually do know, but it's gonna. Oh my word! What state is it?
It starts with a Q.
Canberra. Queensland. Sorry,
Queensland.
I'm mad.
Well done.
What's going on there?
I don't know.
Canberra with a Q, eh? Okay, Queensland. That's a good start. Queensland Reds.
Okay. A famous Brisbane band is Powder who? Powderfinger.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if they.
No, I know Powderfinger. Yeah.
A former Brisbane Heat women's player won a tennis Grand Slam this year. Do you know who that is?
Tennis Grand Slam. What? Are you serious? Marty something. What's her name? No.
It was close. Ash Barty.
Ash Barty, yeah. Sorry, Marty.
Yeah.
I think I should go get some tablets or something. I'm feeling a bit sick.
She actually had a couple of good games for the Heat and then switched back to tennis. And
are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so she played, took a break from tennis.
I had that one right. The Marty, Barty, something. Yeah. I knew it was something along those lines.
She played the first season of the WBBL, then switched back to tennis and has gone on to pretty remarkable things. I think she's #1 in the world as we speak.
That is ridiculous.
Made the final of US Open in doubles.
Crazy story. Why is she wasting her time with cricket?
Well, you tell me. I mean,
#1 in the world.
Yeah, I think it's for her, and I think also why it seems like you love cricket is that camaraderie that you have with teammates.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. I hear you. No, cool. Maybe get to meet her one day. It's cool.
Final question on Brisbane. So the city is named after Sir Thomas McDougal Brisbane. Yeah. What was Sir Thomas renowned for? Was he a poet, an astronomer, or an explorer?
Sir Thomas, what's his last name?
McDougal Brisbane.
Poet. What's the other two? Explorer.
Yeah, you got it right.
I promised you I was going to say Thomas sounds like a poet, but I wanted to know the other two before I took my guess. But anyway.
Oh, no, sorry. It's B. He's an astronomer.
Oh, no, you're kidding me. You're serious? That's horrible, eh? This is the worst interview ever.
Sorry. Well,
I promise you I knew the others. I was just, I hit a blank there. You can't put me on the spot like that.
That's okay. We'll wrap it up here. We're going to finish with the final over. So I got 6 questions and just want 1 or 2 word answers. So let's go with the best bowler you've ever faced.
Oh, Mohamed Asif.
Favourite ground in the world?
Newlands, Cape Town.
All-time favourite teammate?
All-time favourite teammate? Morne Morkel.
Favourite food?
Normally Italian, yeah, pizza.
What would you be doing if you weren't a professional cricketer? We kind of touched on that already. It's hard to say, I guess.
Yeah. My dad is a doctor, so I'd always had that passion for that, but was never really going to follow in his footsteps. But yeah, that's probably something I would have tried to do if I didn't play sports.
Final question: favourite place in the world?
Favourite place in the world? It's a place called Harold's Bay on the east coast of South Africa.
AB, thanks so much. I'm
Thank
sure
you.
I speak on behalf of all Brisbane Heat fans when I say welcome and bring on summer.
Thank you very much. We're going to have a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Thanks.